That might be
It's a
great
sandbox.
live
It's a
shot.
soapbox. It's FanBox.
And we are back talking about New Who. Welcome to Tardis Talk. I am Tony. With me is our panel of rogues. We may have somebody else joining us a little bit later. We're here to talk about that new episode, The Robot Revolution, that aired yesterday. I was going to say last night, but I woke up at 4 a.m. and ended up watching it on Disney Plus. So super excited. Let's go ahead and just go through everybody and tell us about yourself, where we can find you. And you're going to see, you'll be on the spot because you'll be on the screen. So go ahead.
Hopefully my sound is good. I just plugged my mic back in.
There you go.
All right. Awesome. I am Xanatos1138 on all socials, mostly TikTok. And I thought the episode was great. I love the goofy robot stuff in Doctor Who all the time.
All right.
Hello, Niko Skywalker from TikTok, Skywalker Niko on Instagram, Doctor Who cosplayer. Love the episode. I had a smile on my face the whole time.
And by the way, love the fit.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am Marvelous Johnny. Y'all can find me at Marvelous Johnny on TikTok, Instagram, all the various social medias. And honestly, I really enjoyed this episode, quite frankly. There were some hiccups here and there, but yeah, overall, I think it's a good episode, or good welcome back to Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
I look so dour. Hi, everybody. That Will Wilkins on all social media, CTO of Kevin Smith's Smodco, and my daughter's father. I really thought I'm going to save it for the show.
Oh, yeah. We kind of didn't ask for the overall, but that was perfect. I love you guys organically just saying what you want to say, because let's face it, I don't need to be running the show. But just to remind you. Just to remind
we
you guys,
don't need you run it, but we do want you here.
Okay, because but with that said, let me just go ahead and remind you guys, if you are watching this, and if you've never seen this before, please be sure to check us out. Itsfanbox.com. You can find out all of the things that are going on, whether it be our shows that post there, as well as some movie reviews and some news. We're not all about breaking news or breaking the internet with anything special. We're just out talking about what we love, which is what Itsfanbox is all about. And if you'd like to be a part of that, be sure to reach out to us at itsfanbox@gmail.com or contact@itsfanbox.com. Also, if you want to check out other podcasts that we have, plus our partnered members of the network for the FanBox Podcast Network, i.e. Real Study, which will be on this afternoon or evening, be sure to check out fanboxnetwork.com. You'll see our recent shows, things that get posted, as well as recommendations for the shows that are coming out soon. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into New Who Episode 1, The Robot Revolution, written by Russell T. Davies, and I believe it was crap. I had the name of the guy. Hoar, Hoar, I think was the last name of the director. It was either Jason or Nick. I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, I would say personally a solid episode to start off. I absolutely love this unwilling companion kind of concept. So
she gave me Major Donna vibes, but I liked her more than Donna the first time I met Donna. I will say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Miss Belinda Chandra.
Yeah.
Yes.
They
really drive her name through your skull. I won't lie.
Forget her name now.
Yeah.
Especially the miss part.
Well, let's face it. When we first got the Ninth Doctor, the first episode was named Rose. You kind of got to push. So I did definitely like that. And I'm sorry, incels running the planet. Let's go for it.
As far as openers go, I really did enjoy this episode much better than Space Babies.
Same. I like it more than Space Babies too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't count out the Snot Monster.
I like the
Bogey
Boogie
Monster.
Monster. I really do like the Boogie Monster, especially in terms of its design. Which actually, I love the robots and what was the guy's name? I just know him as Al because of the AI
Alan.
joke.
Alan.
Yeah, there we go. I like the design of Alan in this episode with all the mechanical parts. It looked really good.
Okay, did this episode at all remind you of that Migration Planet episode where the people were in stasis and the robots were meant to like build the planet and everything, if you weren't happy they killed you?
Of like the robot face,
Yeah.
it was very reminiscent of that. Yeah.
Well, plus very reminiscent of Fifth Element.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is this the robots in this one were the perfect like hybrid of those weird bumbling aliens from, well, they looked bumbling because they were like, honestly speaking, for a war robot, how do these things shoot anything when their range of motion appears to be like this? But I did like that it was kind of a modernistic update to that round style robot. And honestly speaking, the things that reminded me of the Fifth Element and of basically almost kind of the entire mystery that was Matt Smith's first season. I kind of feel like we've been served up both of these things. There's only 8 episodes. I didn't do the math, but have a funny feeling the season finale will happen on May 24th.
Well,
Just going out on a limb there.
I counted it. May 24th is 7 weeks from the 12th. So we'll get to episode 7 by the 24th.
So I'm just on Wikipedia just to make sure. Last
Okay.
episode comes out on May 31st.
Okay, good. So we know that it, but the and honestly speaking, that's the only reason why I have any problems with this episode, because the minute you tell me I can't go to May 24th, if I've got a time machine that's not going to be going crazy to get us into the next episode, I'm checking out May 25th. I'm going to May 25th. That's all I'm doing. Okay, you won't let me do May 24th. Let me go to the same spot May 25th. Let's see what's going on. So, you know, other than that, it was a very fun jaunt, and I loved a lot of the things they introduced. The concept of the robots having a fault, the reason we find out later why they had a fault, and yeah, costume design on this one was lit.
Mm-hmm. So isn't there a thing within Doctor Who? Because I kind of feel like this has been a thing where if you go within your own timeline and you go a day like a day after, you can't go back to the day before then. Like
the whole point is that there's only so many times he can visit a spot.
Right.
And if it's a spot that is also something like a fixed point in time, well, that's it. That's a one and done. That's the whole, and because of the sensitivity of the area, like that with everything that went on with the angels in New York, that's the reason why he could never go back to see Rory and Amy. So yeah, there's obviously certain limits, but I'm just saying, if he hasn't traversed May 25th very much, maybe it was the time to drop in.
Yeah. You know, also, so we've got, I mean, we kind of know we understand that we're bouncing back from the 24th, which I like the fact that he can't take us right to the 24th. We have to do it the long way around, which means we have to get there the same time that they are. Cause I know on May 24th is when they're going to get to May 24th. Like that's obvious because it's going to lead into whatever the finale is on the 31st. But we have a little bit of a hint once they do go elsewhere, when the TARDIS disappears, seeing the debris that's floating around in space as to what happened.
Which is also right in line with what some of the BBC was doing for promotionals, because like the day before the series premiere, we end up seeing, or season premiere, sorry, we end up seeing they rolled a clip and it was the same thing. It was the Statue of Liberty missing a few of her panels floating in space.
But French
before we
taking
get
revenge on the States right now, don't worry, nothing new.
understood, and I gotta say this now before I forget it later. Who else is now looking forward to seeing Niko rocking the TARDIS blue kilt? I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting. The clock is set, sir.
I immediately started looking into it.
It was. I love this Doctor style completely. Even wearing the stuff from Miss Belinda Chandra's planet, like the basic tone colors, Like he looks good. Like you see his hair, 6 months, his hair's growing out a little bit. He's kind of looking how he does. I also love the fact that he like incorporated some of their language. I mean, how they talk when he was like plada plada, when he was showing off his hearts and stuff, like that whole like demeanor about how he appropriates a little bit of the culture of wherever he's at. I love that about this doctor. So Nika, you got some work to do.
There was definitely parts where I'm watching what the doctor's wearing, going, okay, I wonder what Nico's going to take from this.
Mhm. Also,
Oh,
the
look,
color of his Sonic also changed from that bright, beautiful
Yeah.
artist blue to like a tan color.
I didn't want to get into this because I was worried it was going to be a whole blue gold dress, white, but like I couldn't. What was the other color? I could tell there were still gold highlights, but like for a brief moment, I thought, was that clear? Wait, was that an off white? Like I said, I don't want to trigger controversy.
Well, it
don't
now makes
worry.
me think that the Sonic has a chameleon circuit as well, just like the TARDIS.
Well, just remember, this is going to be how the BBC sells more sonic screwdrivers to us.
True, I do
Yeah.
want that magenta one from the Rogue episode already, so...
Yeah, I think it has something where it can do its color coding to whatever he's doing or wearing.
Oh, almost definitely.
It's got to be like absolutely. So
I love how
away
they're
from
just
the
never talking about it too.
yeah.
It just happens. It's just a new feature that they don't touch on, which I'm honestly so okay with.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple things beyond the episode. The BBC on the Doctor Who YouTube channel did a live of the TARDIS. Like if you like Fireside, like the fireplace things going, there was just like a live video for 24 hours of just the TARDIS and just going around the TARDIS, which was kind of cool. We know that Shooty did a stint on Jeopardy because
Yes, I
shared
sent that to you and
Yep.
David.
Yep. And then there was something. Oh, and Niko sent a link. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna try to incorporate those links in the description notes, so you guys can see them as well if you're watching or listening later on, and you can go back and kind of like see some of the stuff that was going on. Because I know even though the live may not be still going for the Doctor Who YouTube channel, you can still go back and watch the video, which is still fun if you need some type of ambience running in the background.
I was surprised it wasn't running on this for us, to be honest.
Whoa,
Can I
really
also
nice.
just say, you started off mentioning that you like this, the kind of regretful, not regretful. What was the word you used?
It's the is like uncooperative or the what did I say?
Reluctant.
There you go.
maybe?
The reluctant. Yeah. One of my friends once said his superhero would have been the reluctant wanderer. So it's somebody that doesn't want to be wandering, but he's always just wandering, and you offer him a ride, and because it's his superpower, he can't get in the car or anything. I don't know why I brought that up, but in the concept of the reluctant companion, I love the fact that she instantly IDs him as a person of concern, because she's just like instantly, is that what you promised Sasha 55? You scanned my DNA without even missing a heartbeat. You're dangerous.
That
I
was
was
a
like,
great line.
ooh, that's some good writing, and that's some good acting. I like
Yeah.
that.
Also earlier on, once he brings her to the bunker where all the sick people are, she even comes to a point where she's like, "You're the doctor," and you're standing while everybody else is doing stuff. She's already kind of like clocked him as like a guy in charge, but is letting other people kind of do the dirty work. And it's interesting how she's addressing him and looking at him. Now, mind you, that probably is going to change over the season, but that's going to be a hard perception of the doctor, because we've always looked at the doctor as, people look at him as fond and fun, and he's a little bit dangerous, but that's what's fun about him. She doesn't think that way.
Dude, anytime you go back on this show and you're watching old episodes and you just put one little thing in your mind, because all of us, the nerds, are saying, God, it would be so cool to be able to do this, right in the TARDIS, see these times. But when you just sit back and you remember like the other lines from some of the villains rightly pointing out the death of wake that is left behind you. The wake of death that's left behind you. And it's true, because he is always in proximity to so many people that are getting killed one way or another. So it's just like, yeah, this guy really is dangerous to hang with.
Yeah.
That's why I love in the Matt Smith run where they're like, yeah, doctor over here means great warrior. Like, what? Like, where else would I go to meet a great warrior besides a war? That's not what doctor means. Means that for us.
Yeah. Yeah, he's constantly redefining what the name of the doctor means. Like he has the idea of what he wants it to be, but he's constantly structuring it elsewhere.
Oh,
But like he
and
also knows how to use it is the thing. Like we
Mhm.
have Capaldi who goes like, scan me, look up cause of death, the doctor. And like in every single one of them, did I have a weapon?
yeah.
He's like, don't be afraid. He's unarmed. I usually am.
I think for me though, in this series, the greatest use and play on the Doctor is after we've got from Hell Bent to Heaven Sent, right? Where we find out what he's gone through in the moment where they're in, I can't remember what bowels of Gallifrey that they're in. But you know, he's trying to sort it out, and she's like, "Doctor, how long was it? How long was it?" And Clara gets him to admit, like, it's millions of years
no,
there, or billions.
He didn't even admit it. It was the other. It was
the other ones.
Yeah, it was the other
one that
time
came in.
lady.
And she was
Yeah.
just like, "Why wouldn't you? Why
Why
wouldn't
would
you?"
you
And
do
he just,
that?
and his look on his face when he just says, "I have
I
a
had
duty of care." I when we have the rewatch, I will be freely admitting that I sobbed rewatching that, because that was just like, oh, that is the most Doctor thing I've ever heard.
Right.
But anyway,
And-
back to this episode.
No, hold on. Let's go back a second, because like you bring this up, you can't not touch it. You know, it's even the dangerousness. Like he's, yes, the duty of care, the doctor, or whatever. But even the episode before those two episodes, Heaven Sent and Hellbent, with the death of Clara, when he looks at me and he threatens to bring everything down on her if she doesn't reverse the death of Clara, like. You can see how dangerous he is and how he has no care for anything other than what's important to him. And that was, I think, going back and watching that, because I think I watched it a couple days ago, it's jarring to see how he has no problem threatening destruction when he wants to.
I think of all things, The Good Place best explained like how he could have that switch, because technically speaking, now, maybe then he didn't know, but now we know that essentially this being that we know of as the Doctor is immortal, okay, because he is the timeless child. So in the TV show The Good Place, in the episode, I believe it's season 2 episode 6, maybe, doesn't matter. It's the one where Michael has an existential crisis because Chidi says, you know, hold on, I get it now. We can't teach him right or wrong because he's an immortal being. You know, it's like, tell a lie, wait a couple millennia, you're over it, you've forgotten about it.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of like the same thing. He's an
What
immortal
is a
being.
millennia to a
Yeah.
godlike being?
Exactly. So, you know, I get that, but the fear that it instills any time. I mean, come on, who can forget Matt Smith's speech at Stonehenge? You know, just ask yourself, or you know, whatever he says, and in the very end, he's like, in the end, you know, do the right thing. Let someone else go first. Because it's like, that guy gonna get shot, son. Anyway, sorry.
No. Yeah. So did anyone else feel like we kind of glazed over? It was Sasha 55, right? Not it's Sasha. Yeah.
I just know her as Sasha.
Yeah. I want to go back and I want to revisit that because I want to know what went on for the 6 months, because there was a lot of communication between those glances, between the two of them, and I'm like, what happened to Rogue?
The actress who played Sasha, by the way, phenomenal. Loved her.
I agree. Interesting the parallels it has to the Christmas special we just got as well, though, because now there's he had a 1 year period that was a blip of an eye that ended up becoming great filler for the episode, and now like there was an entire 6 months he lived and we have no clue.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as she said, "Take me to the stars, doctor," I'm like, oh, so she's gonna die in the next few minutes.
Oh yeah,
legit.
She's about to die. Oh no.
May as well be wearing a red shirt, lady.
Exactly. The moment she said that, I'm like, oh, she's.
Oh, the doctor likes you. There's
Oh, you did.
Let's talk about like everybody who seems to be excited about going with the doctor is going to be in trouble sometime. Remind you of the Titanic episode.
Yep. Same thing.
Yep,
Same vibe.
exact same
Like,
vibes.
yeah, when you start talking about stars, I think we're in trouble.
And I want to mention the beginning because I just thought of this when he's in the kilt, when he's, wandering through the hospital, nobody questions him because it's like he's just acting like he belongs there. He's walking through everybody. Nobody gives him a second glance. It was 100%. It was totally the doctor.
But also him just going like, "Hey, look over there!" Scans it, shuts down an entire hospital. I'm like,
That was
dude.
sorry.
I'm like,
Silly guy.
dude, why?
I immediately thought there's people on life support.
Yeah, that was my first thought too.
Not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, doctor, how many people did you just kill? Be honest.
No. I will also say I think Shooty had a much different demeanor this season than last. I think last season, I think he was still filming Sex Education and everything else, like
Barbie.
going into being doctor. And then this one, he's had a chance. He's done the Christmas special. You can see a little bit more subcontext to how he's reacting and responding to things. They're like, especially the point where she calls him dangerous and she's upset that he scanned her DNA. He thinks it's funny, but then he also understands that he has to apologize because he's still trying to convince her that everything's good with him.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this thing like, I understand that they were bouncing off of May 24th, but there's this thought because I was like waiting for her to respond, like, are you doing this on purpose? This is like, hey, we're going to go on a date. Oh no, I got a flat tire.
It looks super suspicious the more it happened. And I was like, no,
really suspicious.
Also, a bit soon to be reusing kind of that same groan tone that we were getting from last year's villain, whose name I can't even remember anymore.
Which one?
The one that was riding on the TARDIS.
Yeah, Sutek.
Sutek, yeah. So, it's just like that, because remember, there was that hinting groan that would happen that we didn't understand, kind of that.
Yes.
And it was introduced in the second special with Tenet.
Oh, David, thank you for saying you're going to catch.
Yes.
David's a little bit behind. They're going to catch the podcast later.
Yo,
so
what's up,
go
David?
watch an episode now.
Yeah, man. Like you even dropped a message in the group chat, and I was like, "Oh, it's coming out at midnight now." Okay.
Yeah,
right.
I woke up and I saw Tony had seen it. It's like, it's out already. I got to watch this.
I was on something and somebody said, I can't, this episode was everything. And I'm like, wait, it's already out.
It's out.
I got up to use the restroom and I was like, I'm awake now. Like I'm
yeah. I mean, this episode was delicious, wibbly wobbly, tiny wimey stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I think it's great that they're already letting us know up front, one, the things that we've seen here are important for the full season. So I appreciate that. Let's not try and hide. Don't bury the lead. Give us a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. Love it. But I do also like that we also still don't know, and we'll have to find out about who it was that gave him her name. That's kind of left hanging there.
Wait,
Yeah, so
who
we
gave
had-
the doctor
Her name.
Because they have the certificates in the past.
Right.
But
No, but when we see him wandering around the TARDIS, he's looking for her. That's before he has spent 6 months on the planet and traversed everything else. So he got her name from somebody.
Oh,
And-
okay.
and-
So it's like
and he goes-
Misty giving Clara.
Yeah, and we have no idea who that person is that gave him her name.
Yeah,
You know-
nope, that's right.
you know,
He
in all
basically
honesty,
writes it off as being too long. It's a long story, but
Yeah, it's funny because like the opening when he's looking for her gave me like the vibes of the Adipose episode when David Tennant's doctor kept missing Donna,
Yes.
but this time he was intentionally looking for her.
Mhm.
And then that one part as she's leaving the hospital, he's like, "There's a doctor looking for you," and she's like, "Isn't that how it always is?" And it was like, you don't understand how true that is. It's like, come on, but yeah, I mean, I definitely do want to see it. I like the fact that as he's absorbing the energy from the two diplomas interact
yes.
with each other, he's getting like a blast of her life, and he realized that he goes back years with her.
There was
So I
an
wanna see
old
that.
white man in there. I'm just like, who's this old white man?
no, that was well, because remember at that point they're kind of exploding, if you will, through all of their
Or time
collective
stream.
timelines. So
Yeah.
Alan was involved. I mean, like, did anyone else when they were watching it at first, instead of like paying attention to what was going on, they were like, hold up, did we just slip into somebody's college student film? What's going on? You know,
Here's the thing, I was
or
watching it. I'm just like, okay, this is like a little bit hoaxy, but like I vibe with it. It's like
well,
it's still
but
cinematic and cheesy at the same time, which I enjoy.
and not to plug somebody else as well, but I can't wait to also listen to Radio Free Scaro's feedback on this episode, because they go long, hard, and deep on original Who. They watched through it all, and I'd be interested to know if some of what we saw was a bit thematically pulled from elements of past episodes of the OG Doctor Who. In other words, was it a bit of a visual tribute at the same time?
Yeah, it did sort of look like that. It reminded
It definitely
me
gave
of
me
like
those
the
vibes.
Fifth Doctor's intro. His intro so cool.
Yeah.
It was it was also very reminiscent of the Willy Wonka tunnel scene on the boat.
Yeah.
I love tying Willy Wonka and Doctor Who together.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. Okay, so someone was talking with Shooty about like roles he wanted to do, and he said either he wanted to be the Doctor or he wanted to be Willy Wonka. And someone actually referred to him and said he wanted that. He's like, I will always think of you as the Willy Wonka of the Doctors, and he loved that. So if you see those elements in him, it's absolutely because it's intentional.
Now he needs the outfit at some point. He needs to put on the outfit in Doctor Who.
Get a top hat.
I was gonna say Chuchi seems like a really big, like he loves to dress up on Halloween kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
I'm
think he just
like, I
loves to dress
wouldn't
up,
be
period.
surprised
Yeah.
if he did like a Willy Wonka suit and top hat for Halloween one day.
That would be fun.
It would be.
That'd be fun. With a cane that at the end of it's a sonic screwdriver.
Kind of like Matt
the
Smith's
Sonic cane.
the Sonic cane.
Sonic cane.
Can somebody please explain to me, however, when we first see first of all, I do like a nod. You mentioned part of it, Tony, but I love kind of the mirror back upon ourselves or modern times, where the protagonist in this at first appears to be an AI generator, which is great. Like, that's wonderful, except, why did it have kind of a cross between the Wizard of Oz and the why is it the red bad eye the thing has to be the droopy one? What's going on there? Right?
I have no idea, but I went back and looked at it and I'm like, it's really obvious that they're hiding the bottom of the letters where it's instead of AI, it's AL. And I'm like, going back for a second watch, you're like trying to pick up on these things. And it's just like, first of all, I will say that whole throne room thing with the Wizard of Oz was very hokey. But when you see him as the gate comes down, you're looking at him, like there's no lower half of his torso.
Oh yeah. They've gotten
like
rid of the useless stuff.
That was a really good like monster effects creation for him. I liked that.
Well, it's because of that, like 85 gazillion% practical. But yeah, the use of the applications and everything, it was a magnificent look. Kind of gave me some Flux vibes in a little bit of ways, and of course, definitely the mechanical or the clock parts from Girl in the Fireplace. But yeah, like, who else? Somebody else, was it you, David, that mentioned how much you loved the Monster of the Week? In this case, Alan.
Yeah, it was
Johnny.
That was me.
That
Johnny, you're spot on. It is a great look, and it's also definitely inspired by some elements of an ancient movie that was out called Demon Seed ages ago. Because at one point there is a kind of a robotic baby that's born, and it has a lot of those enhancements as well.
Oddly enough, it kind of reminded me of when Matt Smith's Doctor was getting consumed by like the cyber man kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
give me those vibes.
Speaking of Seed, that's what Alan turns into.
Oh my word! Yeah,
he does.
Polish.
Oh,
that was a great way to wipe away the villain.
Yeah,
he's like, and there he goes.
I did also want to bring up though with the robots. Did you guys also notice how like their faces would just morph right into like whatever object they wanted? And I'm just like, is that like a digital screen? Like, no, that's like prop. Like they never show it moving, but like when you cut away and cut back, it's like a different faceplate there.
You know, it reminded me of kind of like the sand interface with Wakanda in Marvel.
Yes. Yeah.
but it's like maybe it looked more solid, like stone.
Mhm.
Because like when he's like standing at the door and you see the hammer icon,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, is he gonna fix the door? Or is he
Killed the
gonna wreck
cat.
it?
Cat
Mhm.
emoji pops up.
The
Where's
funniest
my cat?
when they're all kind of freed and they all have like this O on their face.
They're
they're
all
like-
much happier.
Yeah.
Okay,
God, no. The cat is still not relevant.
okay,
Yeah,
so
that was one of my favorite lines. The cat is still not relevant.
our nosy neighbor
Oh
who
yes, what's her
constantly
face?
is appearing up there, our fourth wall breaker. I really feel like I want to know more of what's going on because she's more aware of everything. And the fact that she saw the doctor and she like boogied out and was like, like
You ain't
don't
seen me.
say I was, yeah. Like, because I know we've already seen in clips of the trailers, we're gonna see her, especially in like that like American Idol version, the intergalactic whatever.
The
singing.
Interstellar Song Contest,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, so we'll see her throughout. So it's like there's got to be something more going on with her, which I feel like what people were disappointed with the end of season 1 being a little bit of a letdown when it came to Ruby Sunday. I feel like it's because it's not done yet.
Hmm.
So we know we are going to see more with her. We know she's involved with Unit, according to the
Do we
trailers.
remember as Mrs. Peel? Is that it? No.
Was it a Mr. Flood? No.
Mrs. Flood. Yeah.
Was
Flood,
it?
okay.
Okay,
Mrs.
yeah,
Flood.
see? I do remember shit.
I knew it was some simple word.
Mm-hmm.
My brain
Yeah.
still works.
Yeah, it was nice
Shockingly.
seeing her. But even though the last time we saw her, didn't she say that he's gonna die? The doctor will die screaming or something.
Something like that during Sutek's
I forgot
takeover.
about
Yeah.
that.
It wasn't good. I'm just
I
saying,
just
like
remember
right
her in
near
that
the end.
crispy all white outfit with the umbrella.
Interesting imagery.
And Flood isn't an anagram for something else. Flood might be, I don't know. I'm interested to see what role she plays. Maybe she's the master again. Maybe it's something more complicated. I don't know.
The only water in the forest is the river.
Hey, there you go.
Or a lake.
Wow.
I mean, if you want to pull from stuff from the past, who knows? It's an aged alternative river.
I mean, Russell
knew?
T. Davies does love pulling back stuff from the past of Classic Who with at the end of every single season. So, like, he did it with Sutek. I wonder who he'll do it with this year.
Just give me some more Daleks.
One of my favorite Time Lords from OG.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen Chuti interact with any Daleks yet, have we?
No.
It was interesting though that instantly Alan was like, kill them, and these robots had a very exterminate kind of consistent chant, but not quite exterminate. You know what I mean? Disintegrate, kill them. I found that amusing. But today
Their lasers looked fun. It was like out of Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Actually, if I turned around, it looks also just like my friend's logo for Death Ray Comics. It's like that very ancient inspired 3-ring laser gun.
Yeah.
But did anyone
Call
else?
of Duty.
I've watched this episode twice now. I even watched it this morning before, so I could like be fresh and ready to talk about. The cat is still not relevant. But was anyone else confused about the timeline of the robots themselves? Because right before human representative gets whacked, when Alan is getting integrated, because he's like, "Oh, this feels amazing. He makes the comment that this technology seems ahead of their
10 years ahead of theirs.
So,
which, like, it's one of those timey-wimey things,
So is that then that she told the robots to go get
Alan,
him, and those
Alan
robots did go to
taken.
get Alan, but they're 10 years in the past now because they go through the time vortex. So then they go back to the planet, and the planet people are like, those robots are really advanced, and somehow they're putting a human in a box for conversion, which, by the way, also very Cyberman vibes and themes going on without being Cyberman or Cyberman. But okay, so I guess maybe I thought the 10-year comment was just them being heavy-handed, but no, it was supposed to be to hold my dumb hand into saying, yes, these robots haven't been invented by the planet yet.
Yeah.
Yet now they are coming back and
But the
starting the
design
robot
language
revolution.
seems familiar with ours and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because, end of the day, it's just robots of the future takes the original man who would then create those robots back in the past to then create said robots and to then cause the situation that would then require them to go back in time to grab him. That would then accidentally take him back further when they wanted him back in the present.
Or in other words,
Time
timey-wimey.
travel!
I'm completely
exactly.
lost now, but
And
like,
oh no, my eyes have gone cross.
the whole
It's so
word
funny.
of
I perfectly understood.
I
the
mean,
whole
you
get
did
it
great.
too.
Good on you, man. So let me ask you this one: which copy of the star certificate / diploma, as they refer to it, which copy of it did he put into a tube in the TARDIS? Which one was that? Was that the one Alan was holding, or was it the one she had?
I lost track after they touched.
Yeah.
See?
After they touched tips, I just lost all consciousness for a moment.
It was all
Just
gone.
the tip, just to
Just
see
the
how it
tip.
felt.
We call this docking.
It felt bad. That's how it looked like. It felt bad.
Well,
Yeah,
we saw that there were basically children on the floor at that point.
the timeline went schwupp, and then stuff
I
happened.
mean, Tony, let's be honest here. They're not children.
Well, child.
If we call them children, we're gonna get into a whole other discussion.
Kind of like all of the parents that may have gotten into discussions with their small children over, wait, what did Alan become? Never mind. You find out later.
You didn't hear anything, darling.
Wait until
My
10-year-old
hasn't seen the episode yet, and he's already asking questions about stuff. I'm like, oh great, this is going to start another conversation.
There you go.
This is gonna be the day, Tony.
Yeah, my Sunday evening is going to be fun.
The Lord's Day, good time to discuss that stuff.
There you go. Well, son.
Oh man.
When a
Okay.
Time Lord and a Time Lord really love one another.
Yeah.
They
and they touch the tips of their diplomas.
Jeez Louise.
they transfer each other's chronal energy, and then out comes the baby.
And then a doctor absorbs it and leaves.
That.
By the way, do you not to get too far into speculation, but you know, the wonderful web that we all traverse loves to pick up on whether this second series is going to be, or the second season is going to be the last one for a bit. You know, is Disney going to bite at that? Because realistically speaking, for everyone that wants to bitch about, you know, like, oh, the Disneyification of the Doctor, if Russell T Davies had not come into this deal and brokered one with Disney, we wouldn't even be getting Who right now. Okay, that's the important thing to remember
for us to keep watching it right now.
I wasn't concerned about the continuation of Doctor Who and Disney until the Acolyte happened, and then they just stopped it.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I just think that you know, if they're not part of the licensing, cut Disney in on the licensing and let it go. But it's kind of been back and forth in the news recently, if this will or this won't. And I was wondering if the chronal explosion that happened, because I'm not going to make any more penis jokes about rolled up maps, guys. If when that happened, is it possible this is his last season? And him absorbing that explosion is actually slowly going to be killing him through the whole season.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, no way is something like that's been played up to such a large degree.
I mean, with such a timey-wimey episode, I would not doubt that they bent back 8 episodes previous to say...
Okay, I just had this come to mind. It'd be funny if, because the Doctor absorbed that energy, he started slowly reverting back in time, kind of like Alan. So, like, at some point, he just turns back into David Tennant.
Oh, my word.
Well, you know, that's...
And then we have another David Tennant in the Doctor Who universe just running around.
I mean, that would be a good continuation of the running gag.
That would make 3. And then at some point, he just turns back into Jodie, and then we can get more Jodie adventures.
Technically, wait, guys, technically,
and then
we've
piss off
already got
everyone.
Oh, you mean in this universe? I was going to be like, technically, we've got 3. Because there's the original David Tennant, there's the Meta Crisis Doctor, there's 14, and then in this case, this would be the 4th.
This would be the 4th David.
Oh my goodness!
Right?
Just get a party of David Tennants.
I would, you know, that was the genius thing that they did with the specials and the writing to bring Ncuti in, was that they've always got a David Tennant in their pocket that they can pull out and play with.
He's never not going to take the paycheck. He's always gonna
exactly.
do it.
But like sometimes like he just loves the role so much, and everyone loves him for it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
like Marvel bringing back RDJ, but like people are more receptive to it.
Fair
That was a
enough.
bad analogy.
That's why I said people are more receptive to it.
That's like Chris Evans being able to do Johnny Storm one more time. Maybe
Yeah, there you
that's
go.
probably a better one. Yeah.
Or
yeah,
Patrick Stewart coming back as Professor X.
Oh, that'll
And
never
then
happen
coming back
again.
as-
Or Hugh Jackman
It is. What are you
as
talking about?
Wolverine. Or yeah,
man.
we could go on with this one.
Can we all just say this was mentioned last night on the Daredevil talk, like we need to get past being a society where we constantly like absorb like leaked
Nostalgia.
images on sets. No, like I know like it's exciting to like get like rumors and whatever, but we're literally like spoiling films for ourselves,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and it's making it's too much. It's just
Well,
way too-
they're doing it too, man. Look, first of all, it finally dawned on me near the end of the week that they had been promoting that Monday, the beginning of the week, that Thunderbolts Asterisk is coming out, or the tickets were on sale.
I am so
So-
excited for that.
So I'm like, oh, I better stop and buy them. And Tony, I'm going out of my norm because Tony knows me. I will only go to the Dolby, like whatever the Dolby experience is that
Mhm.
isn't in high enhanced visual.
Mhm.
So Dolby Cinema. I'll only go to the Dolby Cinema theater at my
I do
theater.
love sound quality.
Well, I love sound quality, and the image quality is really important to me. And in the past, the theater has neglected its other projectors, right? When I went to go see Doctor Strange, technically that was in 3D, but it was also on one of the IMAX screens. But there was a literal smudge down the left side of the screen the entire time.
Jesus
And
Christ,
guys,
I hate that.
I don't live in like Podunk, USA. There's no reason for it to be that bad. Anyway,
I would have never sat through that. I couldn't have done it. I would have been like staring at that smudge the whole time and would have gotten up. And
I
said,
know.
No, I would have
stepped-
asked for a refund for that one.
But I stepped out of my comfort zone and I opted for the IMAX because apparently there is a fan experience that you can have with Thunderbolts Asterisk. And one of the things is stupid. It's just a keychain. I'm paying a premium for a keychain.
yeah.
I want that keychain. I seen that keychain
No.
and I want that keychain.
I'm not worried about the keychain. I'm going for that stupid limousine popcorn bucket.
The limousine popcorn bucket available at AMC. Dude, we gotta
We ain't
stop.
got that here.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm driving to the AMC to watch the film to get the popcorn bucket, but I'm passing the Cinemark to get the helmet bucket.
There you go. I'm just really looking forward to that movie, but I don't even remember why but Marvel itself. I'm like, why am I talking about Thunderbolts? You guys got to reel me in. Asterisk. But they make it hard even for us not to know now, because in their promotion for this week, like on social media, they dropped a behind the scenes clip of them literally leaning Florence Pugh off of the tallest building in Dubai.
Yep.
And so like that happened. I'm like, oh, so and then later on, they also released just a brief summary clip that is what that scene's rendered into. So now I know elements of the very opening of the film. I usually go on a blackout the month ahead because that's when things start happening. So, but
You can't do that anymore.
They're making it now, so it's impossible not to be spoiled.
Yeah, even the whole opening scene of this Doctor Who episode, they released a day beforehand.
Yeah.
The scene where she's being ushered out by the robots and you see Mrs. Flood. So like,
Right
I
there.
guess she's there. Like, why would you do that the day
Yeah.
before the episode? I actually
Or
like
the
saw
scene where
real
they're in the
scene-
bunker too.
And
Yeah.
honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that scene where I'm forgetting her name. That is actually shocking. Ms. What again?
Belinda.
Ms. Belinda. Jesus Christ,
Miss
I can't
Belinda
believe I
Chandra.
forgot. Yes, when Belinda Chandra is being ushered out by those robots, I'm just like, why would you post this? This isn't exactly like a good highlight of the acting capabilities. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Okay, especially because she was
It's
being so
awkward.
matter of fact in the absurdity of it.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
but I don't know what version of London they're in right now, because there was an entire part of, or as expanded upon, there was the entire thing that happened with the next Doctor, right? But it was instead something else, and they end up having a gigantic mechanized robot over London. But because of this or that, that's why people can't, the cracks in the universe, that's why people can't remember that happening. So we don't know how alien adept London is right now. We never do at any moment. And she was just way too matter of fact. Apparently I'm going to be the queen of space. Tell my parents robots have abducted me. I think if robots were carting me off to space as a prisoner, I would have just been a babbling mess and urinating on myself.
But that's you.
Fair enough. I'm doing it right now as well, apparently.
Well, it's like they're calling her royalty. They take her off. I love that. I guess the thing is like it's very jarring and it's very off-putting if you're in that position. Like they're constantly using your name in the most inappropriate way possible. Like it's just like Miss Belinda Chandra. This is Belinda Chandra. Like you need to go to the planet Miss Belinda Chandra to do this and blah blah blah. And then she gets there and they're dropping bombs on the rogues. And then the Miss Belinda Chandra bombs. Like
yeah,
they're just
everything.
Don't wear
the name of
name
reverence
out.
on the planety, though, or it's a name of reverence on the planet, not the planety. But I do have to ask. I'm going to ask Niko, because Niko apparently appears to be the smartest one on the panel, who understood everything about the episode. So Niko, Doctor, I have to ask you: were we supposed to feel sorry for Alan, or were we not? Because she points out, oh, you've just taken your controlling assholeness and taken it to a planetary level. So we're okay with him being a dick. But then they even slip in that every 8 seconds or 8 cycles, he's got one moment of freedom, that thought that's his own. And they kind of give us an amalgamated series where he's essentially saying, I'm in pain.
Help me.
Yeah. What's your take, Niko? Are we supposed to feel sorry for him or not? Was something supposed to be redeemable about Alan?
No.
No.
Where was Alan on January 6th?
In London.
He was in the UK watching in horror as we all were.
No, wait. 10 years ago from 2025, though. So like 2015, he was in space.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There we go.
Can we just also just talk about the fact that even as a robot, he's negging her?
Yeah.
Just the amount of negging that's going on with this guy.
That miss, I never liked that part.
Yeah, he's like, are you married? It's like, what? Are you married?
I almost felt bad for him. And then it's like they intentionally show the scene where it's like, oh yeah, can you wear more clothes when we go outside? It's like,
yeah, he's like, when we're married, you don't need to wear tacky clothes that are tacky as these.
You can't be texting after 8. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Like,
here's the thing,
wow.
though. Like, what? Okay, I am curious about other people's opinion on this, but like, was it a bit too heavy-handed? Because in my opinion, I think it was. I'm like, I could have gathered it.
It's kind of become Russell T Davies' brand to be that heavy-handed. So, like, I don't know. It just.
I mean, we can see what happens if creators aren't heavy-handed. People say Star Wars isn't political.
That's also true because you have. So I guess out of necessity, he has to be heavy-handed. It's like, look,
a little extra.
Look, you idiots! This is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, but out of everything, I think also it has a lot to do with the fact that they've got such a short amount of time to be able to do this. They can't waste more time on him dropping his mask. They have to do it quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So mind you, it's very specific. Whereas we were at that other planet where they were all racist, social media
bubble.
This time, like she even kind of says it. It's like incel planet. Like it's it's exactly what they were going for.
Yeah, it worked. I was really unclear of, because I really felt with everything they were presenting, I was supposed to not like him. But then, because I think literally you could take those 2 lines out of this episode and it wouldn't have mattered. If you remove the doctor pointing out he's got his own mind at the end of every cycle, and then showing us, you take those 2 things out and it's perfect. Then I don't question it at all. Yes, he was a dick. He was King Dick. Dick had to go.
It was kind
of
like
became things out of Dick.
Well, it was kind of like when he was when he was able to express that he was in pain, he regrets whatever. It's like, oh no, the consequences of my own actions. Like I didn't
Exactly.
really,
The hero offered
Yeah.
his powers. Someone's like, maybe
Here's the
maybe
thing.
we
Like
should
at the
stop
end of the
that.
day, the doctor, no matter how terrible you are, as we've seen with Dot and Bubble, he will still, no matter what, offer his helping hand to help save people.
Yeah,
Just because the doctor's good doesn't mean we have to be, okay? We're not the doctor.
But he's there. He's always there for the find out phase. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's just
Well,
always there
except
for
on Dot
the
and
find out.
Bubble, but what? Because he knew they would be haplessly finding out soon enough. But
Which
for
is
now,
fine.
not so much.
Really wish we had seen the aftermath of that one too. Like, oh,
Same.
you guys fell down a waterfall or something? Too bad.
Sorry, you broke your ankle while trying to scale this cliff? Get
No, I
fucked.
think the foot from Monty Python just comes in and stomps on him.
That too.
And now, anyway,
Yeah.
it's
Okay, so overall thoughts like of how this season is starting out. What do you guys think?
I
Strong.
think it's a good start. This like David said, it's better than Space Babies.
Mhm.
No one had weird CGI mouths to talk.
Yeah, a really solid opening to the season that really I hope does not end in the equivalent of pointing at a street sign and saying that's the answer.
Yeah, they did a lot of good groundwork. You know, if you think about last season, it started off with Space Babies, and we saw a repetitive face for that. So that was maybe our clue that more is to come, along with, of course, the entire mystery of Ruby Sunday, which wasn't. So I like that this season started strong, and it really seems to put a lot of the pieces that will come into play in the series on Front Street. I
Correct
really
me
like
if I'm
that.
wrong, though. When they debuted season 1 of Shooty's Run, didn't they do Space Babies and The Devil's Cord, though?
You're wrong.
No, it wasn't two-parter? Okay, that's fine.
I just wanted to tell you you're wrong. They dropped two
okay.
episodes at once, though, I believe.
It did?
I think so. No?
Okay, you know what? Now I'm just going to Google it.
It's all just an amalgamation in my head.
Well, is the church?
It was both on May 11th.
Oh.
Yep.
So, in short, in terms of premieres, I think I enjoy season 1 premiere more. Season 2 premiere,
Because
though,
you got more.
good quality. Well, not because I got more, because I really enjoyed The Devil's Cord. Like, I still recall.
Oh, you're the one.
Accordingly.
So
No,
now
I've heard about
off
you.
the hook. Yes.
now we're going to have to look at the second episode and be like, would this have solved well if they were both released at the same time?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I'm finicky like that.
Actually, I shouldn't crap on the Devil's Cord. It's just, if you take, there's always a twist at the end out.
I like that.
I'm much better
I like
with
that
it.
solid. I really
I mean, as somebody who appreciates theater, you think I would like everything that happened, but it was just, that was the only element. Maybe it's because I fell asleep trying to stay awake to watch the episode, and I fell asleep, didn't know what the resolution was, and I fell into a dance number right before the credits. I'm like, what in the
that would do it.
is
That would
going
do
on?
it.
It's like I
But
felt
I
I had
still
amnesia.
remember that fear the doctor felt in trying to hide from the maestro.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that I
And
look upon fondly.
And correct me if I'm wrong, we go into this season with still more. I can't remember what we're calling them. I'll just refer to them as the elementals for now. But right? Don't we? Because there was music and
There's music. You have the god of games, Sutek, who was a god of death.
right. So technically, we still have these celestials. Is that how they refer to them
Yes,
here as
the
well?
celestial beings.
The celestial
or gods.
beings.
Yeah.
So
there's a couple of ones left to play with.
Not to be confused with Marvel's celestial.
Oh, please tell me Niko's
giant
got a
robot
list.
Gods.
Niko,
In
you
my
got a list?
head, they have.
okay.
So there's the gods of Ragnarok. That
Yes.
the Seventh Doctor and I think Fourth might have interacted with them. There's the god of beasts, forgetting their name, M something, but they're essentially a giant snake. And in Old Who, when it first came out, it was like a puppet snake that just did not look terrifying at all. But in remasters, they've done CGI over it, and it's just I'm excited
George
to see
Lucas.
those. Maybe a Time Lord from Old Who, the Ronnie, maybe.
Yes.
Could Mrs. Flood be one of them?
That's what
everyone keeps thinking.
Yeah, well, but there was a lot of speculation, and again, I'm gonna have to defer to Niko on this, but I know there was a lot of speculation with Miss Poole being in the white outfit with the umbrella, saying she was very reminiscent of someone else from old Who.
Romana.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Romana has where's that? That's like her introduction fit, just the all white and I'm like, yeah,
Mm,
my
there
favorite
we go.
Time Lord. Besides the Doctor, I can't
And the
say
Master.
that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, did
okay,
anyone else?
okay.
I'm sorry. I know this is stupid. Of all the stupid things to get excited, but did anyone else get excited when, she went to go listen to his heart, and it was still the good old.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're like the 4 beats. Oh, look. Oh, it was just that was a nice little
It was
nod to
so
that.
good. I loved that.
That conversation is very exciting for me because like all of the words the Doctor was saying is very deliberate. He's like, oh yeah, I met your like granddaughter, distant relative, and then boom, I run into you. I'm like, he dropped the episode name.
There you go.
Yeah. But also I like that they just again right on Front Street. Just look, we got history, we got a connection. Does it mean something? Don't know. I'm excited about it. But yes, guys, it's the same actress from that episode. Yada yada.
Yeah, like we know it's like Peter Capaldi all over again. Why this face?
From this round.
These are attack eyebrows. That was in perfect unison. Clip that.
Oh, that was beautiful, man. Yeah, that's the note you go out on, Tony. Oh, he was asking us for final rankings. I guess obviously I gave mine. I thought it was a great outing, and other than the little things I butted up against, I really truly did.
So what number ranking is that? Because I'm finally starting to keep record of all our number rankings.
Oh, okay. I give it a strong 8.5.
Okay. I'll record that.
I guess technically that would be 8.51 if I was at a strong 8.5. Or would it be 8.59? 8.59.
I will do the 5.9. I will do the 5.9.
Very good.
All right. Niko?
Yeah, go to 8.5.
8.5?
Not
okay,
a strong.
Okay.
We're gonna go like an 8.5 one.
Okay.
David?
I'm gonna be different. Just say 8.6. I don't know.
Can I throw a 9 at that one? Just have 69?
Yeah. And then Tony's gonna bid $1 to try and get to the showcase. Jerk.
No, okay. I'll give mine so Johnny give you the last one to finish. I think for me, I'm kind of saying I'm still on par with everybody. I don't know. Some parts were a little bit wonky for me, but I did love the episode overall. I'm gonna give it a solid 8, just to be a little bit more deviant from the rest of y'all.
I mean, funny enough, not to deviate too badly, but I was also thinking just a plain 8.
You deviate? Never.
No, only the skin on my skull.
Not deviate.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh,
I mean, I'm also quite deviant.
Same thing anyway. Deviant,
like,
never. No.
I'll be honest with you. When we were talking about touching the tips, I was surprised Johnny didn't have a whole lot to say. So,
wasn't French enough.
No, don't worry. We saw the destruction of the Eiffel Tower by the end of the episode. Yeah, that got all my jollies up.
As soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh god, Johnny's gonna say something.
It took everything in me not to send it in chat, going like the destruction of 2 French-made monuments.
You sent it.
did.
And you deleted it.
I wanted to have that as a spoiler thing, but then I couldn't. So I'm just like, okay, I'll just delete it.
Yeah, because I mean, you look at Statue of Liberty, you think, oh, America. It's like, no, France and France, but that's okay.
Both made by the French.
Yep.
And both just in utter ruins in space, floating about.
Along with a very British looking car.
Yeah, and the pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because why not? Of course.
It's iconic.
And again, like, I'm sorry I overthink this stuff, but he just said that they were at the halfway point between Earth and Belinda Chandra. And it's like, but the debris all the way out here now at wherever the hell you are or whenever the hell you are.
But like, also, did the Doctor not see the Eiffel Tower and Statue of Liberty when he?
Well,
it was behind him.
Yeah.
Oh, it was behind him.
TARDIS.
Okay, that makes sense.
It was behind and under the TARDIS, so like he was looking the wrong way.
Maybe it's
got all
reminiscent
upset.
of the flux that didn't get fixed. Like he fixed most of the flux last season, and then
Maybe.
It's like, what the flux?
Yeah.
Don't get me started on that whole flux thing.
I
Well,
mean,
actually, technically speaking, if you think about it, what did David or not David? What did Ncuti do when he defeated Sutak last season? Like, did he just undo all the death that Sutak did, or
I'm gonna
Sutak?
be
Or
honest.
did
I
he?
do not remember how he beats. Oh wait, no, he
So-
drags Sutek
Yeah.
along the TARDIS with the time stream. That's
Yeah,
what it
I'm
was.
like,
Yeah, and he
Right.
undoes everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So does he just undo what Sutek did, or
He introduced death to death. Was it? Was that
Right.
it? Yeah.
So is everything that was destroyed by the flux now undestroyed?
I hope so, but
Don't know. I mean, speaking of Flux, though, next week's episode is called Lux.
Yeah, with Tom Mulaney as the voice of the cartoon character.
You
That's
mean
Tom
John Mulaney,
Mulaney?
but yes, it's
Yeah.
John Mulaney.
Oh, John Mulaney. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Did I say
Oh,
Tom or
Hannah.
John?
it's
Is
closer
John?
than Hannah.
It definitely is, and I wonder if this is just a localized thing, or is this another is the second episode another Celestials episode?
I was gonna say, so far, a lot of the Celestials have been Americans.
That's a good point.
The Toy Maker.
Mhm.
I'm saying they got MPH in for that. They got the Maestro, also an
Mhm.
American.
And now John Mulaney. So maybe that's the key.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, they're making all the Americans the bad guys? Where would they get an inspiration for that?
No idea. It's America's great. We're
No, Tony,
Better
you're
than
doing the wrong
anyone
hands.
has ever seen.
America's great. We're perfect.
no best ever. Never been a problem.
Number one.
Yeah.
Only
We're great
villains
like
out there
nobody's
in
ever seen
China.
before. Okay.
Listen, we can do villains like no one else can do villains. That's just the American way.
That's
That's
sitting in
the
the White House.
Vietnamese and the Koreans.
Oh man.
Matt
Right.
Smith sitting in the White House, very, very reminiscent of. You think he can just shoot me? They're Americans.
I love that so much.
It's not like they're going to shoot me. They're Americans.
God,
Don't
rewatching
No comment
that
as a
episode
Canadian.
Sent me down a rabbit hole because I realized that the TARDIS was cloaked in there, and I was like, wait. I got sent down a rabbit hole that shot me all the way back to the Sixth Doctor and the TARDIS turning into an organ to mess with him. I'm like, what? What is happening? Yeah, it's because the Sixth Doctor was the doctor who was going to fix the chameleon circuit, but then you find out that it's not broken. The TARDIS just wants to be a police box.
Yeah.
Like when he tried to fix it, it like turned into an organ to mess with him. It's like, I'm not gonna do what you want me to do. So like, if we can just let this TARDIS box, police box, be cool, be good.
Yeah. It's like they also know realizing that there's a TARDIS out there that's shaped like a diner.
Mhm.
And a tree.
Okay, then.
With that said, this has been TARDIS Talk. No, I mean, great episode. Looking forward to next week.
Lux.
Yeah. Which is gonna be
Living cartoons. That has me very excited.
yeah, with people disappearing in the theater. So yeah,
I should
I'm
go
seated
watch a
for that.
movie after we're done that episode.
Oh yeah.
I should go watch Death of a Unicorn. That sounds like a good mix.
Yeah. Or go to go trash a theater and watch Minecraft.
I did that last night. My entire audience went chicken jockey.
But
I
it
was
didn't.
cringing so hard.
But it
No,
didn't. Did they just chant? Didn't become pure bedlam? I need to know because my daughter wants to go see
Yeah.
it, guys.
It is a little bit crazy. I went like the opening night. Well, actually the day after opening night. It was wild, but it was fun. Like they already knew the soundtrack, so when they started doing la 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 lava chicken, the entire theater was singing the song.
Yeah,
So,
no, I had
yeah.
that happen. I actually, because when I went to the theater, outside of the theater, or there were two signs saying, taking part in TikTok trends will not be tolerated. Anyone causing disruption will be asked to leave with no refund. Minecraft poster. Thank you for your cooperation.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I like it. Very nice.
Didn't see nothing like that for Endgame, though.
Well, we're nowhere near college town, and so I'm hoping I'll be okay.
Yeah,
We'll
my
see.
theater's
College
right outside of the
students.
local college.
yeah, but they're actually bringing real chickens into the theater now, so that's the
Yeah,
thing.
I saw that. Hopefully no one brings in explosives to replicate a creeper.
No, I don't think. Well, you had to
All right,
speak over
Johnny.
existence.
I got it.
All right, so we're gonna be.
Oh my god, that's how you get arrested. Like, sir, is that actual explosives? Shh, it's
You guessed.
TNT.
All right. With that said, this has been Tardis Talk. We're gonna go ahead and just wrap up real quick. Tell us where we can find you. Go.
Niko Skywalker on TikTok, Skywalker Niko on Instagram. Tardis Talks.
Marvelous Johnny on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, all the above. We're still working on getting content out. I just knocked my head really bad lately, so stuff's slow. Besides myself, but yeah.
Just go to thatwillwilkins.com.
Xanatos1138 on all socials, or if you ask certain people, Xanos. But I am mostly on TikTok and trying to do more for its FanBox. Hopefully, an Andor show, Andor after show coming soon.
And
would be
Mr. Marvelite, anywhere you find me, go to its FanBox. If you're curious as to why Hannah was referenced, what Poppycock is, or why Xanatos is Xanos, just watch the Daredevil Born Again episode last night. It'll make all the sense.
However, I just want to quickly say, if we do that Andor show, that's perfect because our companion here, Ms. Belinda, is also in Andor. Farada Sithu, I think her name's pronounced. So
we got to figure out a day. That's the only.
When does it come out? In like 9 days? No, 9 days, right? 22nd.
22nd. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Just give me a date, David. I'll make it work. It's not like I'm driving around too much lately.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, with that said, we will see you guys next week for episode 2. We'll see you then.